Here is a random list of men who you might think resonate as masculine dominant, but are actually feminine dominant. It's important, and I can't stress this enough, to understand what gender and energy have to do with each other. If you don't understand that, please go watch the video I posted before this. I think at this point, it's probably sitting at a cool 400 views, and it's very informative. But as we get into this list, it's important for you to understand that if I say that a man is feminine dominant, I am not insulting that man, which is why I've started with this, beloved, because I am in no way insulting those men, just like I am in no way insulting women if I say they are masculine dominant. Once again, this is about resonance. This is about how people are naturally inclined. This is about either being naturally gravitated towards your ego or naturally gravitated towards your soul. The ego speaks to you through the mind, the soul speaks to you through the heart and the third eye when you get good at it. It is also important to know that just because you resonate in one direction doesn't mean you are perfect in those specific chakra areas. For example, just because I'm a feminine dominant woman doesn't mean that my sacral, my heart, or my third eye, or, my crown is perfectly balanced. It doesn't mean that. I still have to work on those areas. However, the ones that challenge me the most are the masculine areas, and the same goes for all of the men that exist on this list. So let's get into it. Justin Bieber. This is the only feminine dominant man that I would have to find my big boy pants for and pull him up. Starting with the heart chakra, a lot of feminine dominant men have really big hearts, and they have a passionate, peaceful disposition. Sometimes the peaceful disposition can be mistaken for being soft or timid. However, a lot of feminine dominant men may struggle in their solar plexus, which may cause them to feel this sense of inferiority complex. It's really important for feminine dominant men to have a sense of faith, and you may see these men oftentimes reach out for a sense of spirituality. And because these individuals are still socialized as men, there is a culture of imbalance that is sort of perpetuated and comes out and is displayed in different men who resonate in different ways. For example, there is an energy of overactivity or overstimulation within the masculine energy as a collective, right? In a lot of feminine dominant men, you can see this overstimulation come out in the sense of being over schmexualized and struggling heavily to ground their reality, because there's always this sort of unrealistic, one might call over imaginative mentality that sometimes takes over and creates an inability to ground oneself in reality. Whereas you see this overactivity, overstimulation from the masculine chakras with like greed or having to be like power hungry and violence, etc., etc. So you may see a lot of men ping pong back and forth between those imbalances, but when you see something more persistently, more profoundly, likely that person resonates in that area. So you can definitely see these things in Justin Bieber, and I would say his instinct to be protective, to want a family, is very feminine. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into too much detail on Ye, because the details on Ye are soon coming. So definitely stay tuned for that. There are some things I want to discuss about his particular situation presently, but we can see a lot of spiritual imbalances in Ye and a desire to sort of understand spirituality from a deep point of view. Not for nothing, he's a life path 11, and as a life path 11, We are highly spiritually connected beings. This is a divine femme, completely off the rails, but also socialized as a man, so completely off the rails in a masculine way as well. Are you seeing what I'm saying? But there are other examples who we can say show a lot more balance and grace with how they show up as a feminine dominant masculine. Okay? All right. And this one here, Peter Thomas, this is going to be a little bit of a follow-up for people who didn't believe that Cynthia was masculine dominant. If you actually watch their relationship, the one who was easily going into their heart space and begging their partner to be emotionally present was Peter. And I'm going to die on that hill. Richie D, because Erica was definitely wearing the pants in that relationship and is and will. You have to have such a pure heart to do some of the things that this man has done, and especially for his partner. And it's that type of self-sacrifice that you see in a lot of feminine energy. It comes innate to feminines until they learn how to choose themselves. That's the difference. Masculine dominants need to learn how to not choose themselves and choose other people, and feminine dominants need to learn how to choose themselves and not choose other people. Do you understand? And not all masculine dominant women are toxic. Like, that too. And no, you can't change. This is another one that I might have to find my big boy pants for. And I almost forgot this one. You will watch his interviews with Nikki a different way now that you know this, because that man just be kikiing. And like I said in the last video, you can tell a lot about how a person resonates when you look at who they always have issues with. And in the last video, I said that masculine dominant women oftentimes have issues with feminine dominant women. Most feminines get into it with other feminines who can go toe to toe with them. We deal with confrontation and things like that from masculines. It's not something that is sought out for unless we feel hurt, betrayed. And then you will see the wrath. So let me know what y'all think in the comments.